So today's practice I mainly focused on Teen Spirit, and since the last time I filmed a video on my practice of this, I've actually managed to completely memorise this piece and get it as close to what I would want for because as we've said before, nothing's perfect, but as close as I can kind of get to that. And I've really enjoyed playing it. So I'm gonna, in this video, take you through all the steps that I've taken to get where I've got. So I'll take you from the chorus. The pre-chorus for me is something that is quite simple and doesn't really need much attention to, because it's very repetitive and I kind of know where I'm going with it. So filming it for you would just be me taking you over something that I think we would all be very familiar with. But the chorus, although it's quite simple and repetitive, it has like these sections where you can change it up a bit. So you can change it up with the way you slide, the way you articulate, the way you put the dynamics. As in all music you can do this, but particularly in this bit, because it's such a famous chorus, making it so different in each different part of it is a really interesting thing to experiment with. So I like to really focus on how I can slide on different notes. So we have a top B, and sliding up to there makes a real difference in the kind of sound quality and the depth of what you get across in this chorus. So I'll play it for you now and just pay attention to the different little details that I do of dynamics, articulation and slides. So that ending bit I didn't kind of talk about before I played. That bit is very focused on double stopping, and making that bit stand out is really interesting because it's obviously so different from the first part of the chorus. So when I'm playing that, you heard there's a little gap in one of the bits, and everyone cuts out at that part in the original song. So what I'm going to put in that gap, normally they would put clap, but because I'm on violin, getting a clap in is very hard. So what I'm going to do for my performance is actually stamp instead of clap, which is totally doable, and I'm able to do that without too much hassle going on. So the next part of this song, we would repeat all that. So we would repeat the verse, we'd go to verse 2, we'd go pre-chorus and then chorus. So what I've taken you over in this video, in my last video, that would all repeat. But the next part after that repeat would be the solo. And this is a really interesting part because what I've done, and I'll explain more in my next practice session, is I've really mixed and matched with different violin parts I found on the internet with this. So we're changing key signatures, I tried to get the exact right rhythm in a part and then the right notes, and they all came from different parts, so mixing them together was very difficult. Which is also why I called it my experimental piece, because I knew it was going to be like that. But this next part is the solo, and it's played by guitar, but obviously I don't play guitar, so I put it to violin, and it's full. There's one note in the whole thing that's not double stopping, so it's all double stops. Love it. So I'm going to play you through this bit now, but obviously I've taken you through before. Double stops I find challenging because it's two notes, because you're getting bow speed right, because you're focusing on two notes of intonation. All that makes it a big challenge for me. And this part particularly, it comes with a lot of string changes and a lot of attention to detail of how you're playing this articulate part that's so famous for what it is. So getting it exactly right, or exactly right but in the style I want it, is a very big challenge for me, but I have so enjoyed trying to make it work in so many different capacities. So I'll play it for you now. What I'm going to do is just take the last part of the chorus and then carry on to the solo. And then we go back into verse 3 after that. And I love playing with that part. It's so interesting and so different really from the rest of the piece. Although it has that essence of the whole piece, it's just that standout nitty gritty. You can really play around with it. So I really enjoyed working on that bit. It was tough at times, but I enjoyed it. The next video I'll do for you is I'm going to explain how I got this last version of the piece, because as I've kind of vaguely gone over before, it was put together with so many different versions of this piece I found for violin and string instruments online. So I'll take you through that next time. Thanks, guys.